Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna do a little bit of like baby food making. So I've gotten a lot of questions from like people I know and a couple of my followers that they are curious because I keep mentioning that I make all of Wyatt's food, and making baby food when you don't know how to do it or you've never done it before can be super intimidating. It was for me when I started doing it. Making sure he was, getting a balanced meal and everything, and making sure that he was eating plenty of all the nutrients that he needs. When I started doing it, turns out it's actually really, really simple, and it's really easy, and it's super cost effective. So I have been doing it since he started eating solid foods, and I love doing it. It's actually a lot of fun for me. So I thought I would share with you some of the stuff that I do. I thought about doing like a full, like a whole bunch of different baby foods to make, and over time that will happen, but that would be a ridiculously long video. So for today, I'm just gonna kind of do some snacks that I prepare throughout the week. So it's Sunday and I just went grocery shopping and I got all his stuff to make his snacks, and so that's what I'm gonna do today. Let me show you the food pouches that I actually have that I use. Okay, so these are called Baby Breeze reusable food pouches. So I bought them on Amazon. A pack of 10 cost me about $10, which I think is great. So I have 2 packs of 10, and it basically, they're freezer safe. So what I do is I do some for the week, and then I also store a bunch in the freezer, so I can just pull them out at the beginning of the week and they're ready to go. These are super easy and convenient to also take with you to sitters and all of that, but and they sell pouches in the store, but I really didn't want them to be disposable because I feel like that's a waste. And as you guys know, if you watch my New Year's resolution video, I'm trying to be less wasteful. So this is one of the ways that I did it. I freaking love these things. They are awesome, but I will try to link these so that way you guys can check them out for yourself. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first thing to know whenever you're making any type of baby food is be prepared. You're going to have a lot of dishes. It's all right. Just make sure your dishwasher's empty, your sink's empty, so you're ready to clean it up. I am going to use a few different things today. I have a steamer pot, which I'm going to use for steaming some pears. I have a food processor, which is going to basically process and blend everything that I'm going to make today. And then I also have an Instant Pot. I understand not everyone has an Instant Pot. The only reason that I'm using it is because my other steamer is going to be occupied, and I don't have a second one, or I don't have another steaming machine. So I'm going to be, so I can do it at the same time. I'm going to be using both. But the way that I'm using the Instant Pot just as a steaming, you can use the same thing on your stovetop with a steamer or with an actual like steaming machine, like the countertop one some people have. But yeah, so I'm going to make the applesauce in the Instant Pot. I'm going to start cleaning and cutting some pears, and cleaning and cutting the apples, and getting that kind of stuff ready to get those cooked before we make them into a puree.
Okay, so here you can see me coring and cutting the apples. A lot of people have told me that you need to peel the apples or the pears before you cut them up to steam them. I never have before. Once you steam the apples, the peel is just so soft that you don't need to, because then you puree it and you can't even tell that it's in there. So if you wish to peel it, you can, but I don't feel it's a necessity to do so, and it does actually save you a lot of time not to do it. So if you don't feel a need to, I wouldn't worry about it. Same thing here with the pears. I'm not peeling them or anything. I'm just cutting them and then shaking the seeds out and all of that. One of the great things about making baby food is that if you have fruit or something that's about to go bad and you really don't want to eat it, it doesn't matter because it's still edible for the baby, and you can just cook it up real quick and puree it, and then you have baby food. So less waste. It's really, really nice.
Okay, so I do have to confess that I am still learning my Instant Pot. I received this as a present from my in-laws for my birthday, but I am still learning how to operate it. But I've made applesauce one time in here before, and it was a little bit mushy, so I just added just a little bit of water, you guys, like a little bit of water, because I'm going to do a steam setting instead of pressure cooking. I don't know why, that's just what I'm going to do. But okay, so we go to steam. And then I'm going to put it up to 8 minutes, and it's already set there actually, because that's what I did last time with it. So we're going to go ahead and start that. there it goes. And while that is cooking, I got my pears all ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and get that going as well. Put that on high. All right, now we're going to do a couple things while we're waiting for these to steam. So an important thing to keep in mind when you're doing all this, hold on, my camera's all. Multitasking is key, okay? Because if you don't want this to take all day long, you have to do stuff while other stuff is being done. Because it can be super time consuming if you just start steaming something and then you just wait for it. So while those are steaming, I'm gonna make my next thing, which is gonna be prunes. Prunes are so easy to make. All you have to do is buy a bag of pitted prunes. I think this cost me $2.50 at Winco. And then I'm just gonna put them in my food processor, and I'm just gonna add a crap load of water to it, and it's going to blend and puree, and it's gonna be lovely. The first time I made it, I didn't realize I had to put so much water in it, and it took me a lot of tries, and I got prunes everywhere, which is really hard to clean up. So I suggest doing maybe a little bit at a time till you understand how much water you need, but I'm gonna show you guys all that in just a sec.
Okay, so I don't have an exact measurement of how much water I put into it. I think it's kind of impossible to tell you exactly how much water to put in, depending on the prunes quality and everything. But I basically just put the prunes in a little bit at a time, and then I just added water gradually, and I checked on it to make sure the consistency was what I was looking for. When you do use your food processor to do this, don't be freaked out, because when you turn it on, because the prunes are so thick, it will just jumble everywhere, but it's okay. Just keep adding water until it's consistency that you like, and it'll be great.
Okay, so this is the kind of consistency you're looking for. You see how it's still kind of thick, but it definitely has gotten very watery. That's the kind of consistency you're looking for if you're doing food pouches. Because remember, if these are going into food pouches, the baby needs to be able to get it out themselves, but you don't want it so thin that they're getting it all over themselves. So this is kind of the happy medium to that. If you are trying to spoon feed this, however, you can go a little bit thicker if you want to, just depending on what you like and what your baby likes. I love using prunes because Wyatt has had issues with constipation in the past, and this basically eliminates that issue. And then also with how much water you add to it, it helps with hydration. So it's amazing, and I use it all the time, and he loves it, so it's great.
Okay, so I'm just transferring the prunes to the pouches. I don't think I mentioned this in the beginning, but these pouches are not only freezer safe, but they're also dishwasher safe, which is amazing. And that little orange thing that you see opens up the pouch, so I'm able to fill it without making a mess everywhere. I still sometimes make a mess, but it helps a little bit. But yeah, so I'm just filling up all of them right now. It's important to know that when you close the pouches, to make sure you get all the air out of it. See how I'm trying to make it flat right there? It's so that way when the baby is trying to eat it themselves, there's not an air pocket that's keeping them from being able to suck it out, and you don't have to be there to assist them so much. So yeah, just make sure all of the air is out of there when you're closing them up, and make sure they're nice and tight and secure for your storage. That way it doesn't accidentally spill anywhere.
Okay, just a helpful hint, whenever you're doing anything with prunes, make sure that you clean your stuff out immediately, because I've learned the hard way that prunes, once they have dried, just like to stay there. So when you're done with your food processor, clean it out immediately. Whenever your baby is done with their food pouch, clean it out immediately, or as quick as you can. Sometimes we can't because we're on the go, but as quick as you can, because it's so hard to get out once it's done. Okay, now that our prunes are all done and bagged, let's check this. I turned this off a little while ago, but I kind of just let it continue to steam. Oh yeah. Yeah, they are nice and done. So we're going to go ahead and actually take this. I'm going to get a little pot holder. I'm going to go ahead and take this and actually let it cool before I handle it, because that's actually going to get mixed in with yogurt, and I want that to be more room temperature by the time that we do that. So it's going to sit for like 10-15 minutes probably. Okay, so let's check out our applesauce. Well, it's not really applesauce yet. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's not really supposed to be. It's just supposed to be steamed. Yep. Lovely. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and grab all these apples and we're gonna stick them in the food processor. We're gonna get that all nice and blended. It is still steaming hot, but that is the perfect consistency. Look at that. Yes. Okay, so you saw me just kind of like dump the apples in from the Instant Pot. Since I only put like a little bit of water, like I literally just put like a layer of water at the bottom, it gave me just enough water to be able to make it applesauce. So if you're using your Instant Pot and you're going to use the steam, just put just a little bit of water at the bottom basically, and then 8 minutes, and it will give you, and then just dump everything in your food processor and it will give you this perfect applesauce right here.
I'm really sorry if you can hear my neighbor. They're doing yard work right now. But so I started out actually using applesauce I had left over from the freezer, which is why you saw that other bag. So I was finishing that off first, and so I had a lot left over. So I just stored it in a Tupperware container, and I'm just going to throw in the freezer, and I'll just take it out when I need to fill up more pouches. But for now, I just filled up what I needed to put in the fridge, and then some for the freezer, and then I can just trade them out as my pouches become empty, because after this, I'm going to have them all filled. I won't have any extra.
Okay, so my pears are still cooling, and like I said, multitasking is key. So I'm actually gonna switch gears, continue to let those cool, and I'm going to make some smoothies for Wyatt, some pouch smoothies. I think we're gonna do some spinach, I think we're gonna do some banana, and I might do some peas. I don't know, I guess we're gonna see.
Okay, so I added some spinach that I had left over. I love adding spinach because he doesn't drink formula anymore, and so that gives him a lot of really good iron and vitamins. I added the rest of an English cucumber. I also had in my fridge a banana for multiple reasons, because it's really good for him, plus it masks any veggie flavor he might not like. Then I added some frozen mango and then some oatmeal as well. It's uncooked oatmeal, which is fine. It adds a really good protein. He's not eating meat right now, so it's nice to be able to throw that in there. I always try whatever smoothie I make for him, because if I don't want to drink it, I can't really expect him to want to drink it. So I always make sure it tastes good and then add what I need to from there. I know it might seem like a heavy smoothie, but remember I'm dividing it into 4 different days. So it's just a nice nutritional snack for him, but it's not as maybe calorie dense as people get concerned about. My pears are all nice and cool now, so I'm going to blend them up in the same Ninja blender I use for the smoothie. I don't need to add any water to it. It absorbed enough liquid during the steaming process, so I don't need to worry about that. When you're using yogurt, make sure it's plain Greek yogurt. You want to make sure it's not a flavored one, so there's no added sugar. Make sure the ingredients are very, very simple. I don't know if you can read that label or not, but make sure it's just the milk that's in there. So I'm stirring up the yogurt because Greek yogurt sets it and it's totally fine. Just stir it up, and then I'm going to add my pears into that and just stir it, and I'll keep adding some yogurt until it's the consistency that I'm looking for. Now, when you're portioning out yogurt, you don't have to add any pureed fruit. I do it just because he likes the flavor of it. You don't have to use pears. You can use some mixed berries. You could use strawberries, you could use a banana, you can use apples, you can use whatever your child likes. It doesn't matter. He just happens to like pears, and pears are something else that's really good for constipation, and like I said, he has issues with that. So if you are having any issues with your baby and you're trying to give him yogurt, I would pair it with pears or berries or something high in fiber.
Okay, so now that you have like all your food prepped and everything, obviously I'm not putting it all in the fridge because it will expire before he's able to even use it all. Sorry, my camera was crooked. So I have this. I got it in a 2-pack for $2 at Target, and I just put all his pouches in here, the ones that I put in the fridge anyway, and the rest will just go into the freezer. You can label them if you want to, like just use like a dry erase marker or something and put it on there, but I know everything that's in here, so I really don't need to label it. I just kind of put it in there. I'm like, oh, he needs prunes. Oh, he needs yogurt, and take them out.
I forgot to mention, these take about 24 hours to fully defrost if you put them back in your fridge, so just make sure you take them out with plenty of time to defrost.
You say hi to all the people? Hi. Okay, it's the moment of truth. This one is the green one. I tried myself. I thought it was good. So if he doesn't like it, that's on him. Ready? I think it's a winner. So yeah, you guys, that is how I make Wyatt's like snacks throughout the week. Along with the pouches that I made, I do feed him like grapes, which I cut into fourths. I also feed him raisins. He eats puffs. Yeah, just like lots of little stuff, lots of pouches. I try to do finger food, but finger food is breakfast and dinner mostly. Snack time is more pouch time. So that's why I put so much effort into doing this. But in all honesty, it really didn't take me that long. He's been down for a nap for about an hour and a half, and I did it all in that time period. And that includes filming and moving my camera around. So imagine if you didn't have to do all that, it'd probably go a lot faster for you. But oh, wow, he's really guzzling this down, so he must really like it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, please leave me a comment, because I'd love to answer them for you. I really want to help moms be able to find that even if you work full-time or anything, that this is totally doable. You can totally do it and save yourself some money. Make sure you know exactly what's going into your baby and making sure they're healthy and happy and all that. I do suggest though, when you're doing this, number one, I would try some of these foods on your baby before you make mass purees of anything, just to make sure they're either not allergic or they actually like the food. So I would just try those out first. But yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, just let me know. We appreciate you watching this video, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye. Can you say bye? He's very busy eating his food right now.